My book was rejected today. Alright, there, I said it. I would say that much of life is learning how to live and to deal with rejection. In my life, I have dealt with a lot of rejection, and even just over the past week or two, I've dealt with the difficulties of rejection. A book that I had submitted to a publication was rejected. It was a book that I was very excited about and that I believed in and that I was really hoping would be accepted for publication. However, that did not work out, and so I am definitely living with the consequences of such a thing. But I have experienced rejection in other ways recently, whether we are talking about dating, so meeting new people and trying to find someone that you can click with as a partner. I also was rejected in terms of the writing opportunity that I was really looking forward to at my work. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, and because of that, I am looking for new work. And basically, to fill you in, the writing opportunity was the chance to write for my company's blog, to be able to share some educational pieces on science and space, and that was what I was really hoping to do, but that did not work out. I also know that I get dislikes on my videos, regardless of how hard I work on them, or regardless of how much I improve, people will still not like them. People also don't always connect with us in terms of our interests and listening to us with what we have to say. They don't always like the same books we like, they don't always even like our books. So rejection is a very difficult thing. I wanted to make this vlog episode, not because I have a conclusion for it, although one conclusion would definitely be to continue to persist, because what else can we do? But it is also to express some of the difficulty of rejection. And rejection is something that we all face. I am very surprised that there are many stories that I have heard where people have struggled and been in dark times and or been rejected. I was just watching the Lex Fridman podcast and listening to a story about Elon Musk, of who is one of the richest people in the world and who is innovating science and specifically technology and engineering. And yet his company almost imploded, Elon Musk's company. And I've seen videos where people have talked about their failures and their rejections. People that I think are very beautiful and that should have succeeded, but that did not, at least on certain things. And rejection, as I have come to learn, is definitely a part of life. I don't know what to do with it. As I said, I don't have a conclusion, though I definitely encourage a person to persist. I definitely encourage people to never give up. But life is difficult because it is often not so cut and dry. It is not often so clear on what people are experiencing in life and why they are rejected. Just that obviously people don't always connect with you. And this can be very difficult to experience. In terms of my own rejections, I know that I take them to heart, probably more than I should. It doesn't mean that I give up or that I quit, but I will admit that I've taken some of these things pretty hard, because I wonder when I'm striving authentically and I'm living genuinely and things still don't work out the way that I hope, especially with something I really, really care about, such as my writing in the various ways that I have failed recently. What can you say? That is a very tough thing, especially when you're trying with your own efforts, such as with music or your writing, or my writing I should say, as well as even not just music and my writing, but also my YouTube channel. I have to acknowledge that everything is not always as perfect and grand as I want it to be, and people do reject it. And what I do want to say is that definitely pushes me forward. It definitely helps me to continually come up with a plan, to continue to come up with ideas of what I want to do next, and where I want to move forward with my life. But it's also difficult. It doesn't feel good to be rejected. It doesn't feel good that in the eyes of many people that you're not enough, even though you're doing your best. It's not enough to live genuinely. But if there's anything that I would say, I wouldn't necessarily call this a conclusion because it's still a work in progress. But speaking of work in progress, I think that it's okay that many times we strive, even if we don't get the results that we wanted, even if we don't get the various accolades or recognition or money or fame or whatever we may want, that isn't, for me, that isn't the point. I really try to focus on an authentic striving. Sure, it would be very nice if I was able to monetize a variety of a lot of my work. You know, my work is basically free unless people purchase my books, which I really appreciate, but which is often rare. But even with that being the case, and even with my own desires that I probably want, you know, I probably want recognition. I want to make a decent amount of money and be able to sustain myself off my work. But the reality is that in order to get anywhere, we have to face a lot of rejection, and sometimes things don't work out. Life is complicated, and just like at my job, which didn't work out, I have to acknowledge that there are a lot of things that often don't work out the way that I want. And so part of it is learning the flexibility to be able to move forward, to be able to adapt, to be able to come up with new plans, and I think that there is a lot of value in that. I don't want to sugarcoat this message and make it seem as though we're always going to prevail out on top, because sometimes it doesn't feel that way at all, and sometimes that doesn't happen. There are things that sometimes we have to let go of as well. But if there's anything that I would say, it's that, you know, we can continue to grow as people. Everybody experiences rejection in one way or another, as hard as that is. And it's not easy. And it's hard to learn. It's hard to be open. It's hard to be open-minded. I know that not everybody likes me. I know that not everybody will like who I am and what I've done with my life and what I've done with my art. But that's not going to stop me. And so I continue to move forward. I'm Phoenix. Rejection is very difficult, but despite some of my own dark feelings, I encourage you to keep going for what you are going for in life, because you never know where it will lead you. I've been to a lot of exciting places because of my experiences, and while I do wish that things were different sometimes and that I could achieve things quicker, so to speak, which is what everybody wants, I'm still nonetheless grateful for my opportunities, and I definitely want to push forward, and I want to keep trying. I want to do my best. I want to improve. So yeah, I'm Phoenix. Thank you for watching. I encourage you to keep trying. I will see you next time.